Hello, my name is Jacob Southwood, and today we're going to be looking at the cost of living crisis, as this is a deeply severe economic issue, and it's been affecting our country over the past few years. 40% of families, which has been an estimate, are currently living on paycheck to paycheck, which essentially means they are one paycheck away from becoming homeless. So join me today as we dive into Chichester to find out how the general public have been getting on with this issue. So, how do you think our government has handled the cost of living crisis situation?
Not the best, to be honest with you, Jacob. I think that they could have handled it a lot better.
Yeah, and what changes have you had to make yourself?
I've had to stop buying named products like Colgate toothpaste and had to cut down on toilet roll and all that sort of stuff. It's desperate. I've had to cancel my Sky.
Oh no.
I know. Netflix.
It's all going.
Living rough.
So what do you think our government could do better to handle the cost of living crisis situation?
Honestly, probably more like affordable housing, more into social care and the social economy. You know, helping obviously people who are struggling the most, as opposed to giving tax rebates to the richest.
And what changes have you had to make personally to help yourself out with this new crisis?
Cutting down a lot on sort of like food shopping, general stuff that I actually enjoy, just because the cost of electricity and heating is just absurd.
What do you have to think our government is handling the cost of living crisis situation at the moment?
Not brilliantly. I feel like they help more of the working class people, and they're not really thinking about people that are struggling, the elderly, people that have got children and can't work.
And what do you think they could do better at the moment, to reach out to people and help people out?
More support schemes. The scheme that they've done with obviously the people helping with the gas and the electric prices and stuff, and then paying, is obviously very helpful. But I think there's definitely more they can do.
And what changes have you had to make yourself to sort of get by easier?
Making sure things are definitely turned off in home. We haven't put the heating on much. Probably put it on for about an hour in the morning, then we turn it off, and then an hour at night before we go to bed. Extra blankets at home, wearing obviously more dressing gowns and things like that, and long jumpers and things like that, just trying to make sure the heating's not on. Not running a bath as well, because that uses your immersion tank, more electricity, so having more showers.
Yeah, so I think that helps really.
Yeah.
Right. My name is Jacob Southwood, and today I'm being joined by Kat, who has been a business manager at McDonald's, both in Chichester and at Arundel. So we're just trying to get it from a business perspective for the cost of living crisis situation. So how has your store been affected by the cost of living crisis in terms of profits?
But our store, like others, has seen a rise in food costs and utilities, but we've combated that with one budgeting for the electricity and utilities, and we have put our prices up for the customers, so that has helped combat the food going up for us.
Okay. So in terms of the cost of living crisis, because it's not just profits, but how has the supply chain been affected in any way?
So we haven't had a change in suppliers, but we have had in some individual items been substituted or sourced from alternative places. It all comes through the same supplier, and for example, the oil, because of the war in Ukraine, we've had to source it from alternative places, but it's still been provided by our supplier. Just the name of the oil has changed. They've got it from somewhere else.
And so have you had to decrease the amount of staff in terms of things like working hours or just things like that?
We haven't needed to reduce anyone's hours. In fact, we've managed to get more staff and increase people's hours. We're actually taking more money than we were, and we're actually making quite a lot of profit now. But we think that's mainly because our numbers of our customers are rising, but we think that's because people still want to eat out, and the more wealthier customers, instead of going to somewhere that's a lot more expensive, are coming to McDonald's instead. So we're seeing probably the richer people come through our restaurants.
Okay, well that answers a lot of our questions, and thank you for your time today.
No problem.
And I hope that gives us a bit more insight into the business side of things.